China wants to change the world. But here's the question no one dares to ask. What happens when a single nation builds the largest global infrastructure project in human history? A project so massive, so ambitious that it stretches across continents and won't fully complete until 2049. Welcome to the story of the One Belt, One Road initiative, China's modern Silk Road, a blueprint for economic power, global influence, and a future where trade moves not through one nation, but through Beijing. In 2013, Chinese President Xi Jinping stood before the world and announced a plan that would reshape global trade. He called it One Belt, One Road, a network of roads, railways, ports, pipelines, digital corridors, and economic zones connecting more than 70 countries across Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Middle East. OBOR rests on two grand pillars. First, the Silk Road Economic Belt, a land network linking China to Europe through Central Asia. Second, the Maritime Silk Road, a chain of ports across the Indian Ocean, Africa, and the Mediterranean. Together, they form a web of influence so large that it covers 2/3 of the world's population and over 40% of global GDP. But OBOR is not just a list of construction projects. It follows a detailed strategic framework, a set of guidelines China uses to execute its vision. First, build infrastructure where none existed. Rails in Africa, ports in South Asia, highways through deserts, pipelines across mountains. Connectivity becomes the foundation of influence. Second, finance the entire operation using Chinese banks. The loans flow easily, the interest grows slowly, and the debt, critics say, becomes a tool of political leverage. Third, China's own companies take the contracts. They build, run, and maintain the new infrastructure. Money loaned by China returns to China. Fourth, the most strategic locations become long-term assets. Ports in Sri Lanka and Pakistan, rail corridors in Africa, a military base in Djibouti. Access today becomes influence tomorrow. And finally, economic friendship becomes political partnership. Countries receiving Chinese infrastructure began supporting China's positions in global institutions. From 2013 to 2020, China focused on launching flagship projects: Gwadar port in Pakistan, railways in Kenya, pipelines in Central Asia, and a digital Silk Road spreading fiber cables across the world. Between 2020 and 2035, the initiative grows deeper. Rail networks extend from China into Europe. Africa sees ports, highways, and power plants rise. Digital infrastructure, 5G networks, satellites, AI centers tightens China's global technological grip. 2049, the target date. A symbolic milestone marking the 100th anniversary of the People's Republic of China. By then, Beijing envisions a world where trade, finance, data, commerce, and logistics flow naturally through its systems, its banks, and its routes. A rewired world economy with China at the center. Millions gained jobs. Regions long ignored by global powers saw new infrastructure and hope. Africa received power grids, South Asia received highways, Europe gained new rail connections. For many nations, OBOR opened doors that had been closed for decades. But critics warned of the shadows behind the progress. Debt traps, loss of sovereignty, ports leased for 99 years, governments pressured to support China politically, environmental concerns, labor controversies, and the fear that OBOR is less about trade and more about power. Globally, OBOR represents a shift in power. The United States sees it as a challenge to its dominance. India views it as a strategic encirclement. Europe is split. Some embrace it, others resist. The world's balance of power is shifting eastward. So now the question remains, when the Belt and Road is complete, when ports and railways and digital corridors bind over 70 countries into one vast network, what will the world look like? Will it be a world of new prosperity? A world of dependency? A world led by a new superpower? Or something far more unpredictable, shaped not by nations but by the roads that connect them?